Hello, fellow learners. I'm happy to see you again. Thank you for coming back to my channel. This video is related or connected to the previous video. So I'm hoping you have seen that video. If you haven't, please go back to that video, watch that before you watch this video. We are going to talk about the weekend which has just gone by, or the last weekend. When do we talk about this? We would usually talk about this on Monday, the day after the weekend. I told you earlier that this is a very good topic of discussion when you want to start a conversation with somebody, or when you're already trying to converse or to speak with or talk to someone. This could be in your office, at your school, your university. It could be at a party, at a social event. It could be someone you meet on the plane or in a bus, anywhere. Everyone likes to talk about their weekend because it is a happy time for most of us. We all get tired working through the week. Let's start discussing. First of all, you should know what to ask and how to ask of another person about their weekend, about his or her weekend. What questions can you ask? How was your weekend? What did you do over the weekend? Did your weekend go as planned? What were you up to during the weekend? Did you try anything new? You wanted to catch a movie. Did you manage that? Sometimes you can start your conversation on Monday from where you left off on Friday. That means if you've discussed on Friday, what are we going to do on the coming weekend? Then you can ask questions related to that and ask the other person if they actually managed to do whatever it was that they were planning to do. So, frame your questions accordingly. Now, when someone asks you a question, you don't have to go full detail into it. Start by saying one or two words. Let's use some adjectives to describe our weekend. You can use the word, I had a lazy weekend. What is the opposite of lazy? I had a hectic weekend, or I had a busy weekend. So it could be any of these words. You can say, I had a relaxed and refreshing weekend. That means you didn't do much. You can say, my weekend was very chill. That means very relaxing. You can say, I had a very exciting weekend. Maybe you met someone, or maybe you went to see a movie which was very exciting. Maybe you did some good shopping. So exciting can be in so many things. You can say, I had a very quiet weekend. I did not do anything much. So look for such adjectives. Please use different adjectives every time you practice. When you actually speak to someone, these adjectives will come to you automatically. So use these adjectives to begin with. Always give a broad picture of your weekend. That means use one or two words which will describe the weekend to the other person without going into too much detail. If you want to carry on further with the conversation, what do? You talk about how you broke the routine. What is breaking the routine? That means whatever you do in a day usually or in a week usually, you don't do the same thing on weekends. You do something different, as basic as waking up. You woke up late or you slept in. So you will talk about how you broke the routine. You don't have to say, I broke my routine. You don't have to tell the other person that. But in your mind, when you're practicing how to speak about your weekend, you will first point, how did I break the routine of my weekdays? So it'll come to you. Yes, I remember. I woke up late. Then I skipped breakfast. Or I had a late breakfast, so I skipped lunch. So you've broken that routine. Then you are not going somewhere from 9 to 5 or from 10 to 6 or following a typical work day. So you've broken another routine. What did you do instead of going to work? So you talk about that. Keep thinking about it in your mind and then saying the sentences. Maybe you went out to help your mother with grocery shopping. That's something we all do on weekends. Maybe you helped your father. Main point to remember is you have to use the past tense. Don't go too much into grammar. I always say it's not important to get into structural grammar. Just understand the difference between the tenses. Use simple past tense. Somewhere you want to use past continuous, it's okay. It doesn't matter what you want to use. But if you use the past tense, you convey the meaning better. So remember to use the right tense. So we've covered breaking the routine in terms of your sleeping, in terms of your going out. Some people focus a lot on their fitness over the weekend. So what can you say? I went swimming with my friends, or I practiced my swimming. They're things that you want to learn over the weekend. You can say I practiced my cooking skills, or you can say I went for my dance class. You can say anything you want to say, but you should be honest. Sometimes we think, oh, we've done nothing during the day. But if we sit down and take a piece of pen and paper and write it down, or just sit quietly and let our thoughts come, we will realize that we have done a lot of things in the day that we can talk about. So you've broken the routine, you've gone for some fitness activities, you've gone to play some sport, then you're catching up with people, you're catching up with friends, with family. So again, you broke the routine. Nobody goes on weekdays to catch up with people or to go and meet people. You might have gone shopping. You might have got your pay at the end of the week. In some countries, they pay salaries at the end of the week. In some countries, you get it monthly. So if it's the end of the week or it's the end of the month and it's a weekend, after you've got your salary, you want to go and buy things. So you can talk about that I got my salary on Friday and I had to pick up so many things for myself. So I went shopping. And then you can talk about something exciting that you bought. Maybe you bought a pet, or you went out and got yourself, or you adopted a pet. You can talk about that too. I hope you'll practice talking about your weekend every Sunday evening. Sit down, collect your thoughts, look for the highlights of your weekend so that on Monday you're well prepared to talk about your weekend. Sit down right now and practice, practice, practice. I'll see you soon. Bye bye.